Manhattan, New York, 2 a.m. Camera flashes exploded like fireworks when Blake Harrison, Manhattan's startup golden boy, pressed his lips against those of a complete stranger in the middle of the Forbes magazine launch party. "What the heck?" shouted Harper Wells, pushing him so hard he nearly knocked over a table of caviar canapes. "Have you completely lost your mind?" Journalists swarmed like hungry vultures. Blake grabbed her arm, whispering desperately, "Please, just pretend we're dating for 5 minutes. My ex is over there with that Wall Street jerk, and I care because—" Harper crossed her arms, her green eyes sparkling with rage. She looked stunning even when furious, in that red dress that hugged her curves perfectly and auburn hair escaping from an elegant updo. "Because I'll pay you $10,000. Harper stopped breathing for a second. $10,000 would cover 3 months' rent on her tiny Queens apartment, plus student loan payments that kept her awake at night. "Blake, Blake," the reporters shouted. "Who's the mystery girl? Is this your new girlfriend?" "Darn, darn, darn," Blake muttered, running his hand through his disheveled blonde hair. At 29, he was the youngest CEO to appear on Forbes' cover, but right now he looked like a 12-year-old who'd broken the neighbor's window. Harper looked around. There were at least 15 photographers, 3 TV cameras, and what appeared to be half of New York's business elite watching the drama unfold. Her freelance journalist mind quickly calculated, this story would be in every tabloid by morning. 15,000, she whispered back, a forced smile appearing on her lips for the cameras. "Deal. And I want it in writing, pretty boy." Blake blinked, surprised by her cleverness. Most women he met at parties like this were spoiled heiresses or fame-seeking influencers. This girl had fire in her eyes and a Queen's accent that cut through all that Manhattan pretension. Harper Wells, New York Tribune. She introduced herself to the reporters, extending her hand like a queen greeting subjects. "And yes, Blake and I are exploring a romantic connection." Cameras went wild. "How did you two meet?" shouted a blonde reporter from page 6. Harper looked at Blake, who seemed like a deer in headlights. Typical. Rich men always expected other people to clean up their messes. "Actually," Harper smiled sweetly, linking her arm through Blake's. "We met when he spilled coffee on my laptop at Starbucks last month. He's been trying to make it up to me ever since." "That's surprisingly accurate," Blake murmured, impressed. "I'm good at improv, sweetheart," she whispered back, squeezing his arm hard enough to leave a mark. "Now smile like you're madly in love with me, because tomorrow morning this is going to be front-page news." And she was right. By 6 a.m., Kissgate was trending on Twitter, with over 2 million TikTok views and wild speculation about the identity of the mysterious redhead who had captured the heart of New York's most eligible bachelor. Harper woke up to 47 missed calls, 238 text messages, and the terrible feeling that she just dove headfirst into the kind of mess that could ruin her journalism career forever. But $15,000 was $15,000. And, secretly, she could still taste his lips. Harper's phone buzzed for the 67th time as she stumbled into her favorite coffee shop in Astoria, wearing yesterday's wrinkled dress and sunglasses that couldn't hide her exhaustion. The barista, Tony, nearly dropped his espresso cup when he saw her. "Holy cannoli, Harper! You're all over the internet." Tony waved his phone excitedly. "Look, page 6 has you as their front story. Mystery woman steals heart of tech billionaire." "He's not a billionaire," Harper mumbled, ordering her usual triple shot. "And I didn't steal anything except maybe my dignity." Meanwhile, across town in his penthouse overlooking Central Park, Blake was having his own crisis. His assistant, Jessica, paced frantically around his marble kitchen island, laptop balanced in one arm while juggling 2 phones. The Wall Street Journal wants an exclusive. TMZ is offering 6 figures for Harper's contact info. Your mother has called 14 times from the Hamptons and, oh wonderful, your ex Vanessa just posted a very passive-aggressive Instagram story about some people's desperate publicity stunts. Blake groaned, face planting into his granite countertop. I'm never drinking champagne again. Sir, with all due respect, you had one glass last night. This mess is pure panic, not alcohol. His phone rang. Unknown number. Blake hesitated, then answered. Blake Harrison's phone, this is... Listen up, golden boy. Harper's voice cut through his greeting like a sharp knife. We need to talk, now. Your little stunt has turned my life into a three-ring circus. My stunt? You're the one who improvised that coffee shop story. Because you kissed me without permission in front of half the media world. Meet me at Washington Square Park in 20 minutes. And Blake? Yeah, bring the contract. And a really good explanation. 23 minutes later, Blake found Harper sitting on a bench, feeding pigeons with pieces of a bagel while aggressively scrolling through her phone. She'd changed into jeans and a Columbia University sweatshirt, her auburn hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Somehow, she looked even more beautiful in daylight. You're late, she said without looking up. Traffic was... I don't care about traffic. I care about the fact that my editor just called me into his office because apparently dating sources is against Tribune policy, even fake dating. Blake sat down carefully, maintaining distance. Look, Harper, I know this got out of hand. Out of hand. She finally looked at him and he saw dark circles under her eyes. I've got photographers camped outside my apartment building. My landlord thinks I'm some kind of celebrity now and wants to raise my rent. My best friend Emma has fielded 27 interview requests, and my mother in Ohio saw us on the Today Show this morning and is convinced I'm secretly engaged. The Today Show covered us. Harper showed him her phone screen. There they were, frozen in that passionate kiss with the headline, New York's hottest new couple. This is actually not terrible publicity for my company, Blake said thoughtfully. Harper stared at him. Are you seriously thinking about business right now? I'm always thinking about business. It's why I'm successful. And it's probably why your ex left you for Wall Street guy. That hit harder than intended. Blake's jaw tightened. Vanessa left because she said I was emotionally unavailable and married to my work. Her words, not mine. Well, she wasn't wrong about the work-marriage part. They sat in uncomfortable silence, watching a street performer juggle fire nearby. Finally, Blake pulled out a folded paper. Here's your contract, $15,000 for playing my girlfriend until this media frenzy dies down. Should be a week, maybe 2. Harper read it carefully. This is surprisingly thorough for something you wrote on cocktail napkins last night. I had my lawyer draft it this morning. Jessica found your address through the Tribune's staff directory. That's mildly terrifying and impressive. I prefer efficient. Harper looked at the contract, then at Blake, then at the contract again. $15,000 would solve so many problems, but something about his clinical approach bothered her. I have conditions. Such as? First, no more surprise kisses. If we're doing this, we communicate everything. Agreed. Second, I get to write an exclusive behind-the-scenes piece about fake dating a CEO when this is over. Anonymous, of course, but it'll be great material. Blake considered this. As long as you don't make me look like a complete jerk. I'll only make you look like a partial jerk. Final condition. We do this my way. I grew up in Queens. I know how to handle media circus. Your trust fund boy approach clearly doesn't work. I didn't have a trust fund, Blake protested. I built my company from nothing. Sure, golden boy, and I'm secretly a Kennedy. Despite himself, Blake smiled. Harper had this way of cutting through his defenses that was both infuriating and refreshing. So we have a deal, he asked, extending his hand. Harper shook it firmly. Deal. But Blake? Yeah? Next time you need a fake girlfriend, maybe try asking before you kiss. It's called consent, and it's very trendy these days. As they walked away in opposite directions, neither noticed the photographer with the telephoto lens who'd captured their entire conversation from behind a hot dog cart. By evening, the headlines would read, Lovers Quarrel or Business Meeting, Blake and Harper's Secret Park Rendezvous. The game was just beginning. 3 days later, Harper stood in front of Blake's closet, which was roughly the size of her entire apartment, holding up 2 ties like she was defusing a bomb. Navy or charcoal? She asked, studying his reflection in the full-length mirror as he buttoned his crisp white shirt. Does it matter? It's just lunch with my business partners. Blake Harrison, we are about to walk into Le Bernardin, where there will be at least 6 photographers, 3 gossip columnists, and your ex-girlfriend's best friend sitting 2 tables away. Everything matters. Blake paused, impressed despite himself. How do you know Sarah will be there? Because I called the restaurant, pretended to be your assistant, and got the reservation list. Also, Vanessa posted on Instagram that she's having lunch with Sarah at the most romantic restaurant in NYC today. Basic detective work. Remind me never to underestimate you. Too late for that, golden boy. Harper had spent the last 3 days transforming herself into Blake Harrison's perfect girlfriend. Gone were her thrift store finds, replaced by a sleek black dress that Blake's stylist had delivered, along with shoes that cost more than Harper's monthly grocery budget. Her hair was professionally blown out, her makeup flawless, but something in her eyes suggested she was playing dress-up rather than being herself. You look beautiful, Blake said quietly, and for a moment, his usual business facade cracked. I look expensive, there's a difference. Harper, save it, we have a performance to give. The ride to Le Bernardin in Blake's Tesla was tense. Harper scrolled through her phone, coaching him on their backstory while he drove through Manhattan traffic. Remember, we met at that Starbucks on 42nd Street. You spilled your coffee on my laptop, insisted on buying me a new one. We started talking about your company's environmental initiatives. I did my research, by the way, very impressive stuff, and you asked me to dinner. Why environmental initiatives? Because I'm supposedly a freelance journalist who covers sustainability. It explains why I'm smart enough to keep up with your conversations but not rich enough to afford designer clothes. You are smart enough to keep up with my conversations. Harper glanced at him. Don't sound so surprised. I'm not. I'm just... Most people in my circle aren't. That's sad, Blake. It's efficient. No, it's sad. When's the last time someone challenged you? Really challenged you, not just tried to impress you or get something from you? Blake was quiet for several blocks. Honestly, I can't remember. Well, buckle up, Buttercup. I challenge people for a living. Le Bernardin was a stage, and they were the main act. The moment they walked in, conversations stopped. Harper linked her arm through Blake's, leaning into him as they were seated at their table. To any observer, they looked like a couple completely absorbed in each other. The salmon is supposed to be incredible here, Harper said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear, then whispered, Sarah's at your 2 o'clock. Don't look. I wasn't going to look. You were totally going to look. Men always look. Their business lunch was with Blake's mentor, Robert Chen, a seasoned venture capitalist who'd funded Blake's first startup. Robert arrived with his wife, Linda, who immediately zeroed in on Harper with the predatory interest of someone who collected social information like baseball cards. So, Harper, Blake tells us you're a journalist. Linda smiled with shark-like precision. How refreshing. Most of the girls Blake dates are in, what do you call it? Influencer marketing. Harper caught Blake's slight wince. Vanessa had been an influencer. I prefer storytelling to self-promotion, Harper replied smoothly. Though I suppose we're all selling something, aren't we? How philosophical. Robert laughed. Blake, I like this one. She's got spine. She certainly does, Blake said, and when he looked at Harper, there was something genuine in his expression that made her stomach flutter unexpectedly. The lunch progressed beautifully. Harper charmed Robert with questions about his early investments, made Linda laugh with stories about disastrous interview experiences, and played the role of supportive girlfriend perfectly. She asked intelligent questions about Blake's business, touched his arm at appropriate moments, and generally gave an Oscar-worthy performance of a woman completely smitten. But it was during dessert that everything shifted. Blake's been different lately, Robert observed. Happier, more present. Usually during our meetings, I can see his mind running calculations. Today, he keeps looking at you like you might disappear. Harper felt Blake's hand find hers under the table. His thumb traced small circles on her palm, and she realized with a jolt that he might not be acting anymore. "She has that effect on people," Blake said quietly. Their eyes met across the table, and for a heartbeat Harper forgot they were performing. The way he was looking at her, like she was something precious he'd stumbled upon accidentally. "Excuse me," a voice interrupted. Sarah, Vanessa's best friend, appeared beside their table with a smile that could cut glass. "Blake, what a surprise seeing you here." "Sarah," Blake's voice was carefully neutral. "How are you?" "Wonderful. Vanessa and I were just talking about how quickly you've moved on. It's been what, 3 weeks since the breakup?" Harper felt Blake's hand tense in hers. This was the moment that would define their entire charade. "Actually," Harper stood up, keeping her voice honey-sweet, "it's been 4 weeks and 2 days. Not that anyone's counting. But Blake and I have been friends for months before we started dating. Sometimes the best relationships grow from genuine connection rather than, well, whatever works for other people." Sarah's smile faltered. "Of course. How wonderful for you both." "It really is." Harper beamed, then leaned down to kiss Blake's cheek. "Sweetheart, didn't you say we have that appointment with the wedding planner this afternoon?" The lie was so outrageous, so perfectly calculated to send Sarah running back to Vanessa with explosive gossip, that Blake nearly choked on his wine. "Right," he managed. "The wedding planner." Sarah's eyes widened. "Wedding planner? Oh, we're not engaged yet," Harper waved dismissively. "But Blake's so thoughtful. He wants to scout venues early. He says when you know, you know." After Sarah practically sprinted away, Robert and Linda were grinning like they'd just witnessed the best entertainment in years. "Remind me never to get on your bad side," Linda laughed. "Wedding planner?" Blake whispered as they left the restaurant. "Trust me, by tonight Vanessa will be losing her mind wondering if you're about to propose to your rebound girlfriend. It's psychological warfare." "You're terrifying." "I'm effective. There's a difference." But as they walked to his car, Harper couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere between the hand-holding and the fake wedding planning, something real had started happening. And that terrified her more than any photographer or gossip columnist ever could, because falling for Blake Harrison wasn't part of their contract. The paparazzi photos from lunch would hit social media within hours. Blake gazing at Harper with unmistakable adoration, Harper's hand resting possessively on his chest. Both of them looking like two people completely, hopelessly in love, which was becoming less of an act and more of a problem every day. Harper's phone rang at 6:47 a.m. on a Saturday, jolting her awake in her Queens apartment. The caller ID made her stomach drop. "Mom, Ohio." "Harper Elizabeth Wells, you have exactly 30 seconds to explain to me why I'm watching my daughter kiss a billionaire on Good Morning America while I'm eating my oatmeal." Harper groaned, pulling a pillow over her face. "He's not a billionaire, Mom. And good morning to you too." "Don't you good morning me, young lady. Martha Henderson called me at 6:30 this morning because she saw you on her grandson's TikTok." "TikTok, Harper? Since when are you on the TikToks?" "It's just TikTok, not the TikToks, and I'm not exactly on it voluntarily." "Is he treating you well?" "Because your father is already Googling his background. And let me tell you, we found some very interesting articles about his dating history." Harper sat up, suddenly alert. "What kind of articles?" "The kind that suggests this young man has commitment issues." "Harper, sweetheart, I know you're independent and all that, but maybe you should slow down a bit. This is all happening very fast." If only she knew how fast, Harper thought miserably. "Mom, I promise I'm being careful." "Well, you better be. And Harper, your grandmother wants to know if he's Catholic. Oh, for crying out loud." Language, Harper Elizabeth. 27 minutes later, Harper stood outside Blake's building on the Upper East Side, wearing jeans and a Yankees jersey, carrying a bag of bagels and what felt like the weight of the world on her shoulders. The doorman, who now recognized her as Mr. Harrison's girlfriend, waved her up without calling ahead. She found Blake in his kitchen, laptop open, surrounded by financial reports and empty coffee cups. Even on Saturday morning, he was in business mode, wearing expensive-looking sweats and a MIT t-shirt that somehow looked designer on him. "We have a problem," Harper announced, dropping the bagels on his marble counter. "Good morning to you too. Please come in, make yourself at home." "Blake, I'm serious. My mother saw us on Good Morning America." Blake looked up from his laptop for the first time. "That's not necessarily bad. Parents like stability. My parents live in Sandusky, Ohio. My dad works at a Ford plant. My mom teaches 3rd grade. They think you're some kind of Wall Street mogul who's going to break their daughter's heart and leave her emotionally scarred and financially ruined. But I'm not a Wall Street mogul. I'm a tech entrepreneur. That's your takeaway? That's what you're focusing on right now?" Blake closed his laptop, finally giving her his full attention. "Harper, what exactly are you worried about?" "I'm worried about lying to my family. These are good people, Blake. Salt of the earth, Midwestern good people who raised me to tell the truth and work hard and not get involved with complicated men in complicated situations." "Am I complicated? You paid me $15,000 to fake date you to make your ex-girlfriend jealous. Yes, you're complicated." Blake was quiet for a moment, processing this. "Do you want to call off the deal?" Harper stared at him. "Is that what you want?" "I want you to be comfortable." "That's not what I asked." They looked at each other across the kitchen island, and Harper realized they were having two different conversations. Blake was thinking about contracts and business arrangements. She was thinking about the way his hand felt in hers at lunch, and how he'd looked at her like she mattered. Before either of them could say anything else, Blake's phone rang. He glanced at it and his face went pale. "It's my mother. Answer it." "Harper, you don't understand. My mother is intense. More intense than mine, asking if you're Catholic." Blake answered the phone, putting it on speaker without thinking. "Blake, darling." A crisp voice with a slight Boston accent filled the kitchen. "I'm calling from the Hamptons. Catherine Morrison just showed me the most delightful article about you and some lovely girl. When do I get to meet her?" Harper's eyes widened. Blake looked panic-stricken. "Hi, Mrs. Harrison." Harper jumped in before Blake could respond. "This is Harper. I've heard so much about you." There was a pause. "Oh, you're there. How wonderful. Blake, you didn't tell me she was there." "We're just having breakfast, Mom." "At his apartment?" Mrs. Harrison's voice had a note of approval. "How modern." "Harper, dear, what do you do?" "I'm a journalist, Mrs. Harrison. I write for the Tribune." "How impressive. A working woman. I do admire independence. Blake, bring her to Sunday dinner tomorrow. I insist." Blake looked at Harper with pure terror in his eyes. Harper, for reasons she couldn't explain, found herself saying, "We'd love to come." "Excellent. 6 o'clock sharp. Harper, I hope you like lobster." After his mother hung up, Blake stared at Harper like she'd just volunteered them for a suicide mission. "Do you have any idea what you just did?" "I said yes to dinner with your mother. How bad can it be?" "Harper, my mother once made a Fortune 500 CEO cry during cocktail hour because she didn't like his table manners. Lucky for you, I have excellent table manners. This isn't a joke. My mother will see through our charade in about 30 seconds. She has a PhD in psychology and the social instincts of a shark." Harper sat down on one of his expensive bar stools, finally understanding the magnitude of their situation. "So, what do we do? We could call and cancel, say you're sick. Or we could get really good at being fake in love in the next 24 hours. Blake leaned against the counter, studying her face. "You're not backing down, are you?" "Nope." "Are you?" "This is insane. This whole thing has been insane from the beginning. But Blake, I've been thinking about something." "What?" "Your ex-girlfriend, Vanessa. Why did you really want to make her jealous?" Blake was quiet for a long time. "I guess I wanted to prove that I wasn't as broken as she said I was." "What did she say?" "That I was cold, emotionally unavailable, that I cared more about success than I did about people." Harper felt something twist in her chest. And you believed her? The evidence was pretty compelling. Blake, look at me. He met her eyes reluctantly. You're not cold. You're careful. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. Cold people don't worry about hurting other people's feelings. You've been walking on eggshells around me for days, making sure I'm comfortable with every aspect of this arrangement. That's just good business. No, that's being considerate. And for the record, Vanessa was wrong about something else too. What? You do care about people. You care so much that you've convinced yourself caring is a weakness. That's why you hide behind all the business talk and efficiency. Blake stared at her, and Harper realized she'd just said something that cut deeper than she'd intended. The silence stretched between them, loaded with things neither of them was ready to say. So, Blake said finally, how exactly do we convince my mother we're head over heels in love? We practice. Practice? Acting like a couple. Real couples have inside jokes, they finish each other's sentences, they know little details about each other. If your mother is as sharp as you say, we need to be flawless. Blake considered this. What did you have in mind? Spend the day together. Not as fake girlfriend and client, but as two people getting to know each other. Learn my coffee order, my favorite movie, what makes me laugh. I'll learn yours. By tomorrow night, we'll be so good at this that even we'll believe it. That sounds dangerous. Why? Because what if we get too good at it? Harper felt her heart skip a beat. Then we deal with that when it happens. Blake nodded slowly. Okay. But I have one condition. What? We're honest with each other today. No performing, no pretending. If we're going to sell this, we need to know who we actually are. Deal. But Blake? Yeah? I should probably warn you. The real me is a lot more complicated than the fake girlfriend version. Good, Blake said, and his smile was different now, warmer and more genuine than she'd ever seen it. I like complicated. They spent the next hour talking over bagels and coffee, sharing stories about their childhoods, their fears, their dreams. Harper told him about growing up in Ohio, about her parents' 30-year marriage, about the scholarship that brought her to Columbia, and the student loans that kept her up at night. Blake told her about the pressure of being the only child of two successful academics, about building his first company in his dorm room, about the loneliness of success. By noon, they were walking through Central Park, and Harper realized with a shock that she was actually enjoying herself. Not the performance of enjoying herself, but genuinely having fun. Blake was funny when he let his guard down, and thoughtful in ways that surprised her. He noticed things, the way she tilted her head when she was thinking, how she bit her lip when she was nervous, the fact that she stopped to pet every dog they passed. Tell me something nobody else knows about you, Harper said as they sat by the reservoir. Blake was quiet for a moment. I used to want to be a teacher. Really? Really? Before the business stuff took off, I thought I'd get my PhD in computer science, maybe teach at MIT or Stanford. I like explaining things, helping people understand concepts that seem impossible at first. What changed? Success, I guess. Once the money started coming in, it was hard to walk away, and my parents were so proud. They'd spent their whole lives in academia, watching their friends get rich in the private sector. When their son became successful, it validated something for them. Do you regret it? Sometimes. What about you? What don't I know? Harper hesitated. I wanted to be a novelist. What's stopping you? Reality. Novels don't pay rent. Journalism barely does. Have you written one? Started dozens, finished none. Why not? Because what if I finish it and it's terrible? As long as I don't finish, I can still believe I might have talent. Blake looked at her with something like understanding. Fear of failure. Fear of mediocrity. Failure you can learn from. Mediocrity is just mediocrity. You're not mediocre, Harper. How do you know? Because mediocre people don't improvise wedding planners to psychologically warfare their fake boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. That was brilliant. Harper laughed despite herself. That was just survival instinct. No, that was strategic thinking under pressure. You're wasted on journalism. What should I be doing instead, oh wise mentor? I don't know yet. But whatever it is, it's bigger than writing articles about city council meetings. They talked until the sun started setting, and Harper realized something that should have terrified her. She didn't want the day to end. Not because of their arrangement, not because of the money, but because Blake Harrison was turning out to be someone she actually liked. Someone she could fall for if she wasn't careful, which was exactly the problem. As they walked back toward his building, Blake's phone buzzed with a text. He showed it to Harper, a photo of them sitting by the reservoir, heads close together, laughing about something. The caption read, "Love is in the air. Blake Harrison and mystery girlfriend Harper Wells spotted on romantic Central Park date. Wedding bells soon?" Couple goals. Love story. "We're getting good at this," Blake said. "Maybe too good," Harper replied, and they both knew she wasn't talking about fooling the photographers. Sunday arrived with the kind of crisp autumn weather that made New York feel like a movie set, all golden leaves and perfect lighting. Harper stood in front of her closet at 3 p.m., having already changed outfits 4 times, surrounded by rejected dresses like a fashion battlefield. Her phone buzzed, a text from Blake. "How nervous should I be on a scale of 1-10? She typed back, "Somewhere between meeting the Pope and defusing a nuclear bomb." That's not helping. Good. Misery loves company. 3 hours later, Harper emerged from Blake's Tesla wearing a navy-wrap dress that struck the perfect balance between elegant and approachable. Her hair in a low chignon that had taken 45 minutes to